Hi, and thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to quickly show you how I trace PDFs in AutoCAD. I'm actually using a program called GstarCAD. For this purpose, it works exactly the same as AutoCAD. So I trace them manually. There's a few reasons for that. The main reason being that although there are PDF converters for Raster PDFs, I'll get into that in a bit later, they don't work very good. I've tried them all. If you know of one that actually does work, leave a comment below, but I'd be very, very surprised if you do find one that works as well as it needs to for the purposes that I'm going to show you. So anyways, when you have a PDF, you have two different kinds of PDFs these days. You have the more modern version that's vectorized. A vectorized PDF would likely come from an AutoCAD file. When you plot to PDF, it maintains certain file information. So the lines for the walls, there'll be line vectors, the text will still be stored in the file. So if you import a vectorized PDF, you'll get a very good result when you bring it back into your CAD program. And most CAD programs will have a PDF import. That's nothing new. Let's say that PDF originates from a scan document. Then that PDF is actually a raster image. It's not a vectorized PDF. And that's where these PDF raster converters come in. And I've played around with them quite a bit, and yeah, I was never able to achieve a really good result with any of them. They might work in some instances, but I found they were so inconsistent that just tracing the PDF would save me, in the long run, would save me a lot more time. Another option would be like just simply drawing right over top of the PDF, and that it works if you're pinched for time, but having a PDF raster image attached to a file will slow the file down. That's the first problem, and the second problem, of course, is the presentation. So anyways, in this video I'm going to do a demonstration on some tools I created to trace PDFs faster. And as mentioned, I prefer doing it this way. I prefer getting an accurate 2D drawing, whether or not I'm taking it onto something else, like for example a 3D model of the building, or simply preparing some basic elevations or something like that. Just bills of materials and quantities. I like having an accurate representation of the plan. So unless it's a quick job where you only need to do one little thing, it usually pays off to actually trace the file. So anyways, I'll get started and show you what I have here. So the first is Autolisp routine. It works sort of like a multi-line, but it allows me to draw walls. The end result is a polyline. And with this routine, I can choose the layer it's on. I have an option. I can type L for layer. I'll type 0. I can type justification, top, middle, bottom. Let's change that to top. And let's type width. I'm going to change that to 6. So I can draw a 6-inch wall on layer 0 justified to the top. So you'll see what that does in just a second. So the only drawback compared to multi-lines is I don't get a preview of where the wall is going to end up, but the end result does provide me with the polyline. So this routine, I might improve it a little bit at some point, but for now it works exactly more or less like I want it to. So yeah, I could do this faster with multi-lines, but working with the multi-lines afterwards is a pain in the butt. So I'll just draw a few lines and I'll show you my next Lisp routines that I'm going to use. Okay, so first I have a door routine. I've made a door block, and all this does is simply scale the block to fit the width of the doorway. That means as I increase the size of it, so you can see the door panel gets really big. But for doors, you know, they're going to range from 2 feet to 3 feet wide, so this door panel won't change too much on me. So I have a window block. I've made a custom Autolisp routine that uses window as the command alias, which I type in the command prompt. So it draws that, and it'll draw it any size pretty much that I need. And then this block has a little feature where I can pick the number of panes or mullions. So 1 mullion meaning 2 panes, all the way up to 3 for now. And those will stretch with the window. And then finally I just type bifold, and that gives me my bifold closet door. Now you'll notice these blocks, I don't have any flip states in them. It's because it's kind of hard to get flip states working exactly like I want them and have the scale function in these blocks. So what I do is I just have a little dot, you can barely see it, but it's right in the middle. I'll draw an X just so you can see. Right at the center of where these lines cross is where I've located that, and one reason for that is I can put my dimensions right there. The other reason is I can just mirror it now. And I'll always get it where I want it if I want to reverse the door swing. When I mirror, I should erase the original object. Okay, so that sums up all the stuff I'm going to use to draw this plan. So now I'm going to finally actually start tracing this. And this is just a quick sketch I made on my own. I didn't want to plagiarize anything, so I just made a really crummy sketch. I'm missing a dimension, but this will work perfectly for this little demonstration. Okay, so yeah, I got all my content the way I want it, but I still haven't perfected my my method of tracing. I'm getting better and better at it and finding new ways to save time. So one thing is I want to fade this. Let's see, where is that? Right there. 50%. That should work. Then I just want to I'm still working on my architectural template. That's why I don't have this all completely ready to go. I'm going to switch to this layer right here. This is my layers for cut walls on plan. Actually, I don't want to do that quite yet. What I'm going to do is switch to my no plot layer. So I'm just going to pick this bottom corner right here. I've already scaled this image. Leave a comment if you want me to show you how to scale. I just use scale reference. So I'm just going to draw 2 lines in the corner here, arbitrary lengths. So I'm going to offset them. So all I do is offset these across. Make sure I get it in the right place. So when I drew this, what I did was made 2 grid squares equal 1 foot. So oftentimes you're wondering how wide do I make the windows? Depending on their standards, like a window like this might actually mean 3'0" wide by 5'0" high. So this I just offset at 18. Oops. There we go. As you can see, I'm missing that dimension right there, but since I drew this more or less to scale, I kind of saved myself. I'm going to delete these. I don't need them anymore. Draw a line right across. Check the length of that line, 10'6". So when I'm ready to delete these lines, I have a command alias select similar. My YouTube channel, I show how to set that up. I'll just delete them all at once. And all these lines, you just make sure you have none other like that in your drawing. So with this, I'd use a dedicated CAD file just to draw this plan, and then I'd copy and paste it into my actual working file, just so I don't delete all my other no plot lines by mistake. Another mistake I made when sketching this, my interior dimensions should grab the middle of the wall. That's usually how it's done on most architectural plans. So your exterior dimensions, they could either grab the outside of the wood framing or the exterior structural sheathing. They don't usually go on the siding, because if you have like lap siding or hardy board, it's kind of arbitrary where to take that measurement from, but the sheathing provides a nice concise surface to take your measurement from, and then of course the framing as well. But probably what I'm going to do is place my exterior dimensions on the outside of the sheathing, and then my interior dimensions will go to the middle of the walls. Okay, so enough about that. Finish doing my offsets. quite sure how wide that window is. I didn't get that right. Okay, that's 1 foot. Looks like about 30 inches wide. Yeah, so normally all these windows would have some sort of tag, and that would give you an indication of where the window will actually end up. Okay, so I'm ready to actually start the tracing process. So first, I'm going to use my wall routine. But yeah, first I'm just going to copy a couple lines here. I'm going to copy these 2 lines right here. They'll make it easier to switch the wall layer later on. So with AutoLisp, if I'm always using these 2 layers to draw my walls, or just a select few layers, I can make that, I can build those options into my Lisp routine. I'm not trapped using these 2, having to type the whole layer name. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in just a second here. So I have the option to choose the layer. I'm going to type L for layer, and then I'm going to type a-wall-5- anyways, I'd have to type out the whole layer name. I'm going to hit escape, get out of my command. So I'm going to go to Control M. So layer, you might have noticed I have the option to type C just to change the layer to the current active layer. One thing I should just do is maybe make this routine just draw the walls on the layer that's active. I could do that as well. I'm sure I have a reason for coding it like that when I did, but once I use this more, I'll know the best way to actually code it. Say justification. Let's change it to bottom. That's gonna probably work best for this purpose. There we go. Trace all my outside walls. I forgot to carry a line over there, but I know that's 2 feet. That's 18, I think. Yep. Let's carry this up and over. So since I'm not used to my own routine yet, I'm having trouble memorizing my justification, but you'll get used to that. I've used similar routines in the past. Yeah, so the only disadvantage of this routine is that you don't get the preview that you would with a multi-line, right? Like I don't know inferably which way that line's gonna offset on me. Okay, so I got my exterior all drawn. I'll do the windows next. Just type window, and this I always have it justify from the top. These are very simple window blocks. They don't have a window sill, so it doesn't. They're pretty symmetrical. But once if I put a window sill on it, I'll have to make sure I get them pointing the right way. Okay, let's put some mullions. Make it like that. This one I drew it with 2 mullions, so I'll just match that. This guy I just got 1. I'll put 1 on this guy just for kicks. And let's put my door in. And I can just mirror the door about that little center point. And remember to type yes to delete my existing block. There we go. Okay, so next I'm going to do the interior wall. So I'm going to switch to this layer, do my wall routine. Yeah, now I'm thinking it's going to be a very good idea just to make this routine draw the walls on my active layer. I think that'll be much smarter. Layer, type C for current. Because the other thing is this will throw other people off as well. You have to make your oops, I got to change the width. I'm going to change the width to 4.5. Using 6 as the exterior walls, it's kind of arbitrary, but the exterior framing will most likely be 5.5 inch wide studs, 1/2 inch gypsum on the inside. There'll be some poly, but you can say that's 0 thickness. Then exterior sheathing would be anything from probably thicker than a 1/2 inch, but probably 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. So 6 inches, that's kind of maybe not a realistic wall width. I left a little note on this file. All returns are 6 inches unless noted otherwise. Returns that exterior doors are 12 inches. Yada yada yada. But I know that's going to be 6. I'm going to use the from object snap override. I got this door drawn at 30. Let's see, that's 2 feet. So drew this closet. I think I drew it 4 feet. As mentioned, I'm quite new to my own routine, so I'm going to be not super fast at this quite yet, but I'm going to hopefully pick up speed as I get better and better at this. So I'm just going to draw this, then I'm going to manually move it over. 12. There we go. Oops. Okay, so that covers all my exterior walls. I'm going to do a select similar to grab all these. I'm going to look at the rest of my drawing, just do a shift crossing window just to make sure I deselect anything else. Because I actually deleted the no plot line I used to have right here, but I can just put that back, no problem. But yeah, so if you use that select similar, just do a shift crossing windows. That'll make sure you don't accidentally delete something that you still need. Okay, so let's put our bifold door in. And we got one more door to do. Let's mirror that. Okay, I'm going to go to my annotation layer. I'm going to put all my dimensions in now. I don't really have any special shortcuts for dimensions quite yet. Oops, no, that was in the right place. Let's move that over. Yeah, guys, this floor plan is not really realistic. I just sketched it out really, really quickly. The sole purpose is to demonstrate all this junk I'm using. Okay, dimension time. Wonder why I'm in that dim style. Let's go to my standard. I'll just match prop that right after. The dimensions, they give you one last opportunity to verify that you got everything drawn right. So this method, yeah, it's a bit meticulous, but when I draft a building like this, I get my head really into the project. Like, I know every nook and cranny of the building. I can spot stuff that the contractor might be concerned about, stuff that'll cost the owner a bit of extra money here and there, cost savings. When you it's one advantage of going through the hassle of getting this put together. Okay, so my first mistake, I need to move this all 3 inches that way. I made a mistake tracing my own plans. That's kind of embarrassing. Hopefully not too many people are watching this video. And then another goof up, but I brought that dimension to the wrong place, is where that came from. And just a reminder, I think it's more standard practice to take these dimensions to the center of the wall instead of the edges. It's less arbitrary, and the reason for that is the finishes can affect where those dimensions land. Okay, let's put that guy there. Now, these dimensions are different, as you might have just figured out. I've dimensioned the center of the wall instead of the end, but my goal is just to make sure this plan matches the the original sketch, of course. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. 10'6", that matches. I'll leave this 21-foot dimension out. So I got these quick text demands. If I type T2, that's my medium-sized text that I use for my room labels, perhaps. I haven't decided. My T1 command, that's my small text. T3 is my big text. Okay, what's my, let's see, T5. That's my revision text. As you can see with these, they change the layer for me. For example, if I'm in this layer and I use my T1 command, it'll put it on the annotation layer, then switch it back for me afterwards. And I did have a routine for my extra small. Oh, I remember what it is. It's T0, I think. There we go. Still perfecting my standards. So I have extra small text for things like these door tags. Barely be able to read them when they're that small, but there's also going to be a window schedule, so this would just give someone additional information on plan. But for AutoCAD, since you don't have live object tags like you do in Revit, putting information on multiple plans can be a little bit risky. You got to make sure you change something in one place, you change it somewhere else, and that's the big advantage of Revit, of course. Okay, so I got some dimension. I think actually my sketch has a mistake right there. Anyways, that's not too important, as this is just a quick little demonstration. So from here I can just, probably better to unload it just in case I use it again. I'll just go to unload, then it won't slow the drawing down. From here I can shade the walls if I want, do whatever. So as you can see, I've shaded my walls. It gives it a bit better presentation, a bit easier on the eyes, both in model space, and it prints better as well. I've got my plot style table set up exactly the way I want it. But yeah, I feel like tracing a plan out like this, there's a multitude of benefits, especially if the project's going to go on longer term. Just simply slapping a PDF file into your drawing is going to really bog things down. And you'll probably end up saving time. Let's say you're going to spend a total of like 50 to 100 hours on a project. Having a PDF file slowing your CAD files down will actually cost you time in the long run. So yeah, that's one benefit. I mentioned the Raster converters don't usually work too well. So that's another reason you might want to trace your PDFs. So yeah, so my strategy is to make tracing the PDFs go as quickly and smoothly as possible if we have to do it. So maybe in the coming years, maybe machine learning will catch up and actually do it for us. But for now, I don't think the raster converters are quite there yet. So anyways, I hope you found this video informative or helpful, and thanks a lot for watching.